Welcome back, everyone. Toy Shiz here, and I am back yet again to give you guys another retro shiz look back at the past. And today, we're heading all the way back, way back, 1998, to check out the Manga Cyber Violator. And of course, this is by McFarlane Toys' Spawn line, Series 10, which was the Manga Spawn Wave 2. Quite a different time for McFarlane Toys when they came out with this line. The whole anime craze had taken over for the 90s. A lot of different Japanese-inspired animes and whatnot, comic books. So, yeah, Spawn decided to fit right in. 22 points of articulation, and of course, on the backside, you had all the write-ups, all the info, everything you needed to know about this particular wave of Spawn figures. And like I said, we'd already had Wave 1, now we're into Wave 2, and I can't say that the whole manga thing was really my cup of tea for back in the day. Don't forget to call the Collectors Club, of course, right? Always. But yeah, the Manga Spawn thing kind of took a real detour, a little veer to the right when I was collecting Spawn toys, and kind of course corrected and kind of went back to selecting which ones I want until we kind of got back into the whole Dark Ages with Series 11. But dagnabbit, you know, this Manga Cyber Violator, you know, it's one of the coolest, if not the coolest, out of the whole manga subline. But in either case, this is going to be fun. Sit back, relax, grab yourself a nice hot cup of coffee. This is a look back at the 1998 Manga Cyber Violator, part of Manga Spawn Series 2, which was really Wave 10 of McFarlane Toys' Spawn. And while I got all you manga violators here, I just want to say thanks so much for always checking out my Spawn videos. If you haven't already, please do consider subscribing. Old toys, new toys, daily news updates. Guarantee you'll find something here that you like. So, now we're back in 1998, right? I'm walking into Toys R Us, and I see all the new manga figures. And of course, you know, you look at Toy Fair and you see what's coming up next. And as I'll reiterate, yeah, it kind of threw me for a loop, right? It was like, who are these characters? What's going on here? But, you know, Wave 1 didn't really grab too much. It wasn't until later I was like, all right, well, these are okay, right? But with Wave 2, with this Manga Cyber Violator, I mean, he's pretty dang cool. He's a big robotic violator, and you really can't ask for more than that. He's got little tips of red. He's got some really cool articulation. Very biomechanical, right? Very awesome to see all the little appendages, his spine, wires, all the different armor plates. Very sharp, very rigid. But dang it all, yeah, he's pretty solid. He's got some big clodhopper feet. Helps him stand fairly well. We'll talk about that in just a second. Different feel for this Violator, for this figure. But yeah, he's got pokey things every which way. He's got a big, wicked, wild mouth that's all on hinges and, you know, shock absorbers and everything else. But you know what I mean. Yeah, it goes up and down so you can control it. It does have the same robotic underbite, right, as a regular Violator would have. And yeah, on this side of the arm, no different. Spikes, robot parts, everything sticking out. It's got some hands. Pretty solid articulation. Like they said, 22 points of articulation on the box. Everything rotates. You could do a lot with this guy, and it just kind of gets complicated, we'll say, in the feet, right? Especially when you try to stand him all the way up. And then, of course, on the back, on the top side, you got these two blades, right? Like the little exhaust ports right there. It's kind of funny. You have his spinal cord with all the spikes sticking out. And like I said, articulation-wise, you actually got pretty decent articulation out of a giant robotic Violator like this, while still being able to not only pose him, but have him stand for the most part. You're gonna have to get creative with this guy. He's a little top heavy, he's a little one-sided heavy, so you can eventually make it work. But if yours doesn't stand like right out of the packaging, you understand why. He's a little bit all over the place. But he does have these panels. Now, whether or not these are meant to come off, which I'm gonna say probably not since they have glue on them, but it is kind of fun. Underneath, you get to see all the wires. They've painted it all, right? It's not just a part they're trying to cover up and nothing's underneath. Some part of me does think, yeah, you kind of take them off too. It's kind of like Spawn battle damage, right? He's ripping off pieces, trying to kill this thing. And then up top, you have the head blades. Be careful on these. They tend to snap off, especially the back parts here. Now, I did get this guy secondhand. I'm pretty sure glued in at this point, which doesn't bother me. They stay in place. But if yours move around, then yeah, just go easy on him. But he's got blood and blood splatter and everything else all over this guy. It's a pretty awesome toy. I gotta give it to him all day. It's pretty dang cool to have, even if it were not a Spawn fan, it's a big cybernetic monster. And up top right here, another parts that potentially come off, part of the armor, right? You can see the wires and such. I wouldn't say meant to come off. But yeah, you will notice this when you try to rock the head to and fro, which does give this character a lot of personality, right? He's kind of just going like cocking his head and being like, you're done for, right? Because, well, Clown will say in this particular manga offshoot universe, whatever he looks like at this point, you know, we'll just say the Violator got killed and turns into Cyber Manga Violator. And then you have this Cyber Violator, Violator 2, right, who had all the mechanical parts on him. He was pretty cool. I always like this little eyepiece right here. Just really changed the look of Violator, but pretty cool nonetheless. And of course, you have the infamous Violator 3. You got to get this guy. This one is solid. It's evil looking. It's perfection for the Violator. Lots of different Violators. I'm sure I got some more we could take a look at later. But when you look at what's come before and what comes out now, you have the giant new Violator from Spawn's universe. Yeah, they go together well for the most part, right? The new Spawn, let's say the Alley Throne Spawn with the half cape. Of course, you know, get yourself full cape. Might have one of those coming from one of those awesome customizers. We'll see that hopefully soon, right? But yeah, he goes pretty well with these. That's a nice thing about old Spawn and new Spawn. A lot of them do really go together fairly well, like Malbolgia with this Manga Cyber Violator, even with this new Alley Throne Spawn. And even though it looks like Manga Cyber Violator is taller than Malbolgia, no one's taller than Malbolgia. That's the Malbolgia guarantee right there. Heck, if you wanted to take the Curse, right? The Curse 2, Art of the Spawn, that's a great looking figure. I would not mind a very articulated Curse figure. I love these little minions. You can include a dozen of those guys. But yeah, an updated Curse, wouldn't complain about that. And then, of course, yes, you have the Manga Spawn. And a lot of this Mangaverse stuff that McFarlane did back in the day not only took on animal forms, but insect-like forms as well, which is good and bad. You know, it's kind of a toss-up. Like I said, it's still kind of a toss-up for me. It's cool, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, I see what you're doing, but is it cool? I don't know. Manga Cyber Violator. That's definitely cool. I'll give him that all day. So if you're a fan of Spawn, if you're a fan of Violator, and you want a big old mechanical robot killing machine, which essentially is what it is, you definitely got to grab this guy. And that'll wrap up my look at the look back at the 1998 McFarlane Toys' Manga Cyber Violator from the Manga Spawn Wave 2 line, Series 10. Solid figure through and through. Bit of a different feel than a lot of McFarlane toys, right? Mostly from ones that came before, and then definitely different from ones that came after. He's a little bit light. He can be a little bit janky, right? From time to time, you got some parts and pieces that can fall off, whether or not they're meant to, right? Here and there. But, you know, you get some glue, something like that. Even though I am strictly opposed to that, for the most part, it might help you out when trying to pose them around and such. But, as always, I'm curious to know what you guys think about this Manga Cyber Violator. Is it for you? Will you be grabbing? Comment below. Let me know. Let's talk everything Violator. And I'm going to leave you guys with that. As always, drink some great coffee, eat some great food, but most importantly, remember, however the manga thing plays in the McFarlane universe, you can't beat the fact that, man, Pokemon and Gundam Wing and all that stuff, man, that took off in the 90s. It's here to stay, which is really cool. And when you do, let me know what you found. I'll talk to you guys soon. Adios.